No one expected it, not Kirk, not Rasheeda, and especially not the fans. Let Karlie Red handle it. However, Karlie Red recently unveiled gorgeous video of Kirk Frost, which has entirely saddened Rasheeda and rocked Atlanta's love and hip-hop scene. Kirk is allegedly seen in a compromising situation with a woman who is clearly not Rasheeda. Even worse, there was secret filming in the video, videotaped as he promised to rebuild trust. Chaos erupted as the video surfaced on social media. Fans lost their minds. The actors couldn't believe it. Rasheeda reportedly fainted on site after only 15 seconds of viewing. She shed tears. "This is not something I can do again. I believed in him." The arrangement, the treachery and humiliation are becoming evident. Everyone is also curious as to why Karlie would behave in this manner at this particular moment. Was it retribution, ratings, or something deeper? There is no doubt that the Frost family Rasheeda world is crumbling since the secret has been exposed. This is not only a controversy involving an affair, a failing marriage, a career termination, and a devastating betrayal are all caught on tape. And it's just the begin. The cameras weren't even on when it happened, but the aftermath was too explosive to ignore. It all began at a purportedly quiet promotional lunch for the forthcoming Love and Hip Hop ATL season. Rasheeda was glowing and radiant, trying to present a picture of a woman in recovery, a restored marriage, and a future she had fought bravely to rebuild. Kirk was standing next her, low-key, as usual, nodding along, perfectly capturing the changed man. But in the corner of the room, Karlie Red was sipping her drink like a villain in a plotting a moment that would wreck everything. With perfect timing, Karlie suddenly stood up, lifted her phone, and made a signal with it. "Y'all fake as hell," she said. "Enough to put everyone at the table to sleep, because I have something you all need to see," he continued, causing the atmosphere in the room to suddenly change. "You still think this man is faithful, Rasheeda?" Rasheeda tried to ignore it. She thought it was just Karlie being messy until she pushed play. What everyone heard was unmistakable. Kirk's groaning, mumbling, and the giggling of another woman could be heard in the background. Voice that begs. The room swallowed. Rasheeda dropped her fork. Before anyone could hit the pause button, a short movie started to play and her face completely turned white. "You will continue to This Is For You, isn't it?" Kirk whispers into the camera while lying in a dimly lit room without a shirt. The woman's torso was clearly visible, even though her face was hidden, and it was very obviously not Rasheeda. Instant chaos ensued. Supervisors tried to intervene. Karlie refused to hand over the phone. Rasheeda stood up, her voice breaking and shaking, and cried, "Turn that off." But it was too late. Everybody had just seen her anguish on a 4K phone screen while attending the brunch. He said he was no more once her husband was exposed as the liar. After storming out, Rasheeda apparently cried uncontrollably for over 45 minutes and sinking into her vehicle. She had to be sedated by medics. The insider said she was emotional, according to a production-related source. "Could he do this to me?" was the crucial question, she insisted. Once more, how did she even receive that video? How did Karlie Red get the tape? Karlie says it started with a woman. "You guys are better. Inquire with the side chick." That same evening, Karlie sent a scathing message on Instagram. "The internet went bananas. Don't blame me. I just hit play." The person who slid into my direct messages said. Two groups of fans emerged. Team Karlie argued that if Rasheeda was being tricked again, she ought to be told. One thing was clear, even though Team Rasheeda was devastated for the Atlanta First Lady, Kirk had no supporters. The man, who had spent years mending his reputation after scandals involving infidelity and secret offspring, was now exposed once more by his own arrogance. This time, he made a video and gave voice commentary to someone brave enough to email it to his wife's acquaintance. It was ignorance, not just betrayal. Rasheeda turned dark also. No posts, stories, or updates. She is completely devastated, according to insiders. In spite of her team's one source claimed that she was privately grieving, so this wasn't just dishonesty. This was emotional abuse and public humiliation. He gave her permission to go into a war area unprepared since she had finally started to have faith in him again. 2 days after the brunch disaster, Atlanta was still a hive of activity. The Love and Hip Hop group had stopped playing. The production team was in a hurry, and Rasheeda had yet to leave the house. She was not answering calls from her mother, her glam squad, or even VH1. She was devastated. According to those close to her, fans have already seen Rasheeda influence through controversy. This wasn't like betrayal, adultery, or baby rumors. Jessica. This video footage was disclosed by someone she used to stand next to on red carpets. Worse, she had no idea how much film there was. One insider said, if that's what Karlie uploaded, Just think of what else. She's Karlie Reed was pretending to have no regrets in the meanwhile. In her post, "When they lie to your face, give the world the receipts," she posted a cunning smile on a selfie. The comments went crazy. Some praised her for keeping men accountable. When some accused Karlie of being a snake who takes advantage of women's misery, she showed little concern. As a means of gaining power, for years, she had remained silent about Kirk's pranks. Everyone knew that she was ready to divulge everything. Even though a second clip was leaked within a day by an anonymous source, it was Karlie. The same woman from the last clip could be seen FaceTiming Kirk in this one, telling her that he was excited to slip away again. He surprised Rasheeda with a party during the week that the timestamp was taken. Fans weren't pleased just 2 months before her birthday. Instead, than only being physical, the deception was psychological warfare. He had her blow out candles while getting ready to blow out someone else's back. The show's producers pleaded with Rasheeda to record a reaction scene, but she declined. A widely circulated tweet stated that she was locked in her bucket house with her sisters and her son. She's dealing with all of Jasmine's experiences once more. According to a family member, Kirk has kept a low profile since the Jasmine fiasco. With no upheaval, no new kids, and no public gaffe, Rasheeda even launched a video, a notification, a giggle, and a betrayal to numerous people, and everything fell apart. The executive producers of VH1 were debating how to present it. She had rebranded, conducted panels, launched boutiques, and restored her reputation as a businesswoman, herself as a boss who had survived the ordeal. Karlie's film alone had already increased ratings, but the emotional toll was immeasurable. However, producers began crafting a story around the leak, and based on texts that were released between Karlie, Kirk had the nerve to deny everything. Even though another cast member had further film on a password-protected drive, he muttered something about deepfakes and old film in a hasty, poorly lit Instagram live, saying that Karlie was trying to fans weren't buying it. Despite the fact that the footage was from years ago, his current clothing collection, which was only launched 6 months ago, included the shirt he was wearing. The FaceTime background was the same. Just a year ago, he had marked a motel. It was a reckless deceit. The damage was done. Even though Rasheeda hadn't posted since the disclosure, Tamar Braxton left a comment. Fans and celebrities from all over the world began commenting on her posts. More than 50,000 people liked one comment. "You don't deserve this, Rasheeda. Girl, forget about it." Renee. She wasn't by herself. On day 4, Rasheeda finally spoke up, but it wasn't in a traditional post. Rather, she published a chilling message that said, "I let too much slide. I'm not doing that anymore," along with a blank black screen. No names, tags, or explanations. The grenade's target was known to all. By the end of the week, Rasheeda black screen post, which was a clear warning shot at Kirk Frost and a plea for justice, had gone viral. She didn't even have to bring him up. All of a sudden, Rasheeda was being urged to leave Kirk permanently by posts from fans and influencers on social media. Rasheeda was no longer merely the tricked spouse. She was now a representation of all women who had stood with a guy in the face of deceit, disdain, and public humiliation only to have their voices heard once more. It wasn't just a storyline anymore. A user commented, "Stood by him when everyone else urged you not to. You forgave him for Jasmine, and this is how he repays you." It was private. Women acknowledged Rasheeda and themselves, which resulted in a stronger sense of treachery. A week after the first 2 films were made public, Karlie Reed suggested on Instagram stories that there will be more surprises. That same day, a 3rd video surfaced, showing Kirk inside what looked to be a dressing. He told the same unnamed woman over the phone, "You know, I got to play husband when I'm out here, but you got my heart." Karlie Reed was still making money off of the chaos she had caused. The timing was terrible. That same evening, Rasheeda was scheduled to speak at a women's empowerment seminar in Atlanta, and her comment alone made headlines on All American gossip blogs. When she canceled the event just hours before, the influencers who were meant to co-host it were upset. "I've never seen Rasheeda this low. She used survival to create an empire. But this is soul harm," remarked one of them. People close to Rasheeda claim that she started studying old footage of Kirk trying to put together the facts for herself. A friend claims that Rasheeda has been re-watching every interview, phone log, and chronology. She seems to be investigating her own marriage like a detective to find out when the falsehoods started anew. And what she found just made things worse. Rasheeda remembered meeting the woman on the recording more than she allegedly told her pal. "I had no idea she was sleeping with my husband during a soft launch party for Frost Bistro a year ago, when she was just another face in the crowd. The final straw was a text exchange that was disclosed between Karlie Redd and the unnamed lady, in which the woman said that Kirk had pledged to leave Rasheeda for her, and even offered to relocate her into a condo after the show cooled down. This startling disclosure showed that Kirk was not only unfaithful, but also had plans to "you can forgive a mistake, but you can't heal where manipulation lives," tweeted Tamar Braxton in reference to Rasheeda future. "Don't stay this time. Baby, Rasheeda, even affection," and after that tweet went viral, hip-hop castmates started to pick sides. Spice tweeted a video of Rasheeda crying during a prior reunion event, saying, "She's been tough for too long." Bumby responded, "If Mama D said, if you need receipts on men pretending to be faithful, just ask me." Kirk wasn't there, and the shade was amazing. Found out that Kirk's disappearance put the producers in a frenzy. Without him, there was no filming, no interviews, no comments, and the storyline was out of balance. But in reality, nobody wanted to see him. No longer. Rather, everyone's attention was on Rasheeda. Before Rasheeda made a final move that shocked everyone, the question lingered in the air like smoke. Would she leave the marriage, or would she try to use faith and public image as glue to mend a damaged man, as she has done countless times before? Rasheeda entered Frost Bistro alone, and everyone watched her. There were no cameras, no public relations team, and no VH1 staff. Just Rasheeda, clad completely in black, her hair pushed back like a warrior with no time for diversions, her face naked. The diners that afternoon were afraid to approach her, but they were unable to look away from her as she headed directly to the private office. Secured Kirk Frost was waiting at the door, and for the next 2 hours, the fate of her marriage was decided. Rumor had it that this was their first in-person encounter since Karlie had disclosed the recordings. Although the walls were substantial, they were insufficiently thick. Employees at the restaurant told reporters they heard Rasheeda shouting, "Kirk, you lied to me," in a loud, unfiltered, and fearless manner. "You repeated it as if it were nothing, making me feel humiliated." Not at all. "While you were out here making sex tapes with strangers just like you sat there and watched me stand up for you." She apparently stated this to a different coworker. When Rasheeda finally arrived, she was crying, but she maintained her composure. For once, Kirk was at a loss for words. Kirk, however, had to wait behind for another hour before being escorted out the back door by security in order to avoid the fans and reporters had assembled in front. It was official. She got into her black SUV and drove off without saying anything to anyone or turning around. The collapse of the Rasheeda and Kirk brand was observed in real time in Atlanta. Rasheeda ultimately went live that same evening with just herself, her phone, and the truth. "You're going to get the real stuff now that I've been too quiet. I gave everything I had to that man, my youth, my what did I receive in return for my loyalty and forgiveness? Betrayal, lies, and public humiliation." She inhaled again and turned to face the camera. She continued, even after her voice broke. She continued, despite the tears streaming down her cheeks. "He told me he had changed. This isn't hip-hop and love. I'm tired of letting someone treat my life like a tale." Line. The live feed received more than one, and the internet went berserk. 2 million views. "I wanted my family to be a part of our history, therefore I trusted him. However, you are unable to create a future with someone who consistently hides secrets in every closet." Clips of her speech were posted by blogs, influencers, and even non-franchise celebrities in less than a day. Real. Identify the real. Cardi B said, "It hurts a lot. This is not what you deserve. I've been where she is, and it." But Rasheeda, unsteady her statement, "You ever loved someone so deeply? You forgot to love yourself. That's where I've been. But I'm returning home now." Quickly went viral. After being locked out of their shared Buckhead home, there were rumors that Kirk had moved into a hotel near the airport. Some say he was trying to hide, while others say he was still texting the same woman from Karlie Redd doubled down. After revealing what was already wrong, Rasheeda stopped looking back at the tapes and released a new story, saying, "I ain't ruined that relationship." She then shared a video of Anne when Rasheeda defended Kirk against adultery rumors at an earlier reunion show. Her voice was shaky and her eyes were already tired. Fans soon merged that clip with scenes from Rasheeda's most recent live performance, claiming she should have been done years ago. Producers began scripting the season around Rasheeda's truth. She hadn't said whether or not the energy had altered back at VH1, but we all know that love doesn't listen when it hurts. She would return, but there are rumors that if she left, Kirk's plot would be entirely eliminated because it would now be about her survival rather than his redemption. 2 weeks later, the woman from the tape showed up, ahead, and the reality was worse than Rasheeda could have imagined. Maya was only 2 years old, and with each post, tear, an honest confession, Rasheeda was at last taking back her life. Decatur resident Mia disclosed the specifics of her 2-year situationship with Kirk Frost in a no-holds-barred podcast interview. The facts included extravagant presents, secret hotel encounters, and most unnerving of intimate recordings taken with Frost's full consent. He told me that Rasheeda was merely for the show, and that they were business partners rather than lovers. Even though he knew the Maya wasn't finished, the camera was rolling, and he looked directly at it before sending the footage to me the following day like it was a flex. That comment alone sent fans into a frenzy on Twitter, where they discovered that not only had Kirk allegedly strayed again, but that he had also been deceiving Rasheeda into thinking he claimed that while having different rooms and lives, they had to act in public. Karlie posted the video along with the message, saying, "Told y'all, I had healed while having a full shadow relationship. Didn't damage anything," exposing every personal lie he had said in private. He had been filthy. Rasheeda was no longer silent at this point. Instead, she was calculating, rather than experiencing another emotional collapse. Insiders said she began erasing Kirk's name from Frostbro contracts, erased Cohn's social media profiles, and even instructed staff not to send Kirk any internal business updates. This isn't just a split, it's an eviction from her empire, and she's consulting with lawyers, family advisors, and business experts with the goal of swiftly and covertly severing her life from Kirk's. As Rasheeda withdrew, Kirk intensified the lies, claiming that Rasheeda was overreacting in a leaked audio tape of a conversation with a friend. A close insider revealed that she is keeping him out of everything. "That's not even how we were together. It was difficult." Fans swiftly revealed the hypocrisy by posting side-by-side recordings of Kirk asking Rasheeda to renew their vows just months prior, coupled with Maya's hotel arrangements made in his name that same weekend, according to receipts. "Sir, how was it challenging when you were renewing vows and renting rooms?" Producers hurried to frame the movie for the upcoming reunion special, begging Rasheeda for an exclusive interview since even VH1 couldn't make this one work. Rather, she declined and posted a public statement on her brand's official website titled, "For every woman who's ever stayed too long." She omitted Kirk's name from it. "We all want love to final, though sometimes they grow in circles while we progress," she wrote, cutting through every lie he had constructed. "We want the individual we built with to develop with us. I put up with stuff I ought not to have, and I gave the impression that we were doing fine when I was secretly bleeding. After that, I chose myself." Celebrities reprinted the letter once it got popular, highlighted in magazines, and recognized by therapists as a must-read for any lady healing from emotional betrayal. Rasheeda is silent, concentrated, and determined to ultimately rebuild without the man who is breaking, despite the overwhelming amount of support. Everything in isolation. Down, down, down. Kirk had returned to the Frost residence and moved into a condo outside of Atlanta, packed up his things and remained silent, only emerging 4 strange stories about the truth that are always revealed while the genuine ones keep quiet. But nobody was taking it seriously. Additionally, fans silenced him every time he tried to. Others asserted that I was frightened Rasheeda didn't give a damn. She had stopped inquiring as to why. No one had predicted the season finale, not even the producers, so she had been getting ready for it. Instead of concluding with a love and hip-hop Atlanta, ended with something much more powerful than a dramatic reunion battle or a fake apology. With the keys to her company and a newfound sense of independence, Rasheeda departed Frost Bistro on her own terms. No cameras were following her into yet another heartbreak, and there was no guy at her side. Fans held their breath as the final scene faded to black. But Kirk Frost was undoubtedly out, not just from the house, not just from the marriage. The title card read, "For every woman who gave her all and still wasn't enough, this one's for you." From the brand, the image, and the life Rasheeda created through years of perseverance, suffering, and grace. There was no voiceover, no synopsis, just silence. Once more. Additionally, Rasheeda had initiated a full rebranding in real life, replete with new company accounts and logos. Under her maiden name, she had re-established her chain of stores. She had inked a book contract with Unfrosted, My Life After the Ice Broke. And she had said that she was working on a new talk show for women. Not only did she endure Kirk, but after being deceived, she utilized her pain as a springboard to regain control. Kirk, meantime, tried to salvage what little by telling the story in a podcast interview with a local ATL host. He managed to maintain his reputation. "I was never evil, but I did make mistakes. People seem to forget that I have also experienced pressure." However, there was an instant pushback. Men called him reckless, women called him a narcissist, and he was attacked in comment sections. Even the presenter was uncomfortable. Karlie Redd delivered the final blow when she launched The treachery was finalized when Kirk asked Maya in a voicemail, "If I had the choice, I'd pick you." Karlie Redd turned into both a monster and a hero at the same time. Some fans chastised her for being filthy, whereas others cheered her on. "When you expose a cheater, you ain't messy," she said in a direct post, revealing the reality that no one else had the guts to say out loud. She didn't care though. In other words, you outshine the lie. The video, which features Rasheeda's farewell address in front of millions of women, became the most popular moment in the franchise's history when those women reposted it along with their own narratives. Rasheeda's declaration that she was done loving people more than they loved themselves sparked a movement, and VH1 announced that she would make a comeback the following season. However, Tamar Braxton offered to be a guest star on her own, and Cardi B promised to promote her new book. Even Oprah's own network inquired about a potential special.